Once upon a time, a wise man was born into a wealthy family in northwestern India. As he grew older, he realized that a life of luxury and comfort couldn't bring him true happiness. So, he left everything behind and went to live as a monk in the Himalayas, where he meditated and found inner peace and wisdom. One day, he decided to leave the mountains and visit the city of Rajagaha. He spent the night in the king's beautiful garden. The next morning, he went into the city to collect food. The king noticed him and was impressed by his humble and dignified manner. The king invited the wise man to his palace, offered him the finest food, and even invited him to live permanently in the garden. The wise men agreed and began living in the king's garden, receiving his meals from the palace. In the same city, there was a priest known as Lucky Cloth. He believed he could predict good or bad luck by examining pieces of cloth. One day, after taking a bath, the priest asked his servant to bring him a new set of clothes. However, the servant noticed that the clothes had been slightly chewed by mice, and informed the priest. The priest was alarmed, thinking, "These clothes are cursed. If I keep them in my house, they could bring disaster. I can't risk giving them to my children or servants, as the curse would remain in my home. I can't even give them to anyone else. The only solution is to get rid of them completely, and the best place to do that is the place where the dead are left for animals to eat." However, the priest worried that if he asked a servant to dispose of the clothes, they might keep them, and the curse would still linger. So, he decided to entrust the task to his own son. He explained the situation to his son, instructing him to carry the clothes on a stick without touching them and to throw them in the place where the dead are left. Afterward, he was to bathe thoroughly before returning home. The son did as he was told. When he arrived at the place where the dead are left, he found the wise men sitting by the gate. The son threw the cursed clothes away, and the wise men noticed them. He saw the small marks made by the mice, but they were barely noticeable, so he picked up the clothes and took them back to the garden. After bathing, the son returned home and told his father what had happened. The priest was horrified and thought, "The king's favorite wise man has taken those cursed clothes. I must warn him." The priest rushed to the garden and pleaded with the wise man to throw away the cursed clothes. But the wise man calmly replied, "What others throw away as worthless is a blessing to me. We who meditate in the forest do not believe in luck, good or bad. The truly wise and enlightened ones have given up such superstitions. Anyone who is wise should do the same. No one can predict the future." Hearing the wise man's words, the priest realized how foolish his beliefs had been. From that day on, he gave up his superstitions and followed the teachings of the humble wise man. The moral of the story is, what a fool sees as a curse, a wise person can turn into a blessing.